And some people might define black music as any music that has originated from Africa, you know, or any form of music that has its roots in Africa, you know. And to the best of my knowledge, the majority of music that we hear and know today has some roots, or can trace itself back to Africa. I think it really involves music that has been created out of a quote-unquote black experience, you know, which is an experience I would think that people of African descent have been through, you know. For example, reggae, you know, the kind of equipment people like King Tubby's and them guys were using that gave, you know, early reggae and some of the dub music this unique sound. It came from not having certain things that people in environments with better resources would have had. So it forced the creators to come up with new and ingenious ways of creating music, and as a result, they were able to come up with new sounds and new ideas and new techniques which are still being used today, you know. So saying all that to say, I think really black music, you know, should really be defined again, just to me, as music arising from a quote-unquote black experience.
Has been appropriated by the world. I mean, you know, Elvis and rock and roll, the world and reggae music. I mean, in every one of the European countries and even the US, you have a whole bunch of people who play Jamaican music, reggae music in particular, who are not black people. Asia, Southern Asia, as well as, you know, in Japan, dancehall in that case. Then there's dub music, and as you know, the evolutions, techno, and the whole jungle and the whole drum and bass. So it's been appropriated by a whole bunch of people. In particular, when we say black music, I'm talking about Jamaican music. I don't necessarily believe that all appropriation is actually exploitation. I mean, and exploitation, as it, in fact, in and of itself, that word is debatable. Because then you could say exploited by whom? If it's being exploited by black people, is that a negative exploitation or positive exploitation? Right? And if that exploitation is going to be to the benefit of black people, then why wouldn't you want to do it?
I can't believe that it's real, the way that you make me feel. circulate, circulate, let the dollar circulate. Oh, it's gonna circulate, not percolate.
I think when we're looking at the economic side of music, there has to be a very fine line that we have to walk. You know, we have to be careful not to fall on the side of being exploited and have other people benefiting more from music than the actual creators of the music.
It was about self-reliance, trying to find the strength, within your own culture, within your own community, to create the businesses and the services that you would need for your own people, for your own development. So I think, yes, the enterprise aspect is actually very important in my opinion. Yes, we create the music, but we also have to develop the skills that will help take the music from the culture where it is at into the wider community. And so the skills of enterprise are actually very important. Building organizations and delivering the product to those markets.
Well, what is evident to me a lot nowadays, especially in a lot of in a lot of commercial music, I think a lot of emphasis is placed on the economics of it, and I think that in a way, in some cases, not all, definitely not all, it can focus on the economic side of music can also stunt or actually retard the creativity behind the music. When music is seen as a hustle and solely as a way to change the economic situation, I think it runs the risk of becoming devoid of feeling and meaning, and an expression basically just becomes very bland and very formulaic, and things like that. A balance has to be a thing between art and commerce, and in order to keep the music going forward as well. Because what would happen, if eventually, I think, is that if most of the focus is placed solely on the economic side of the music, how we can benefit economically from it, the music dies, creatively, and although at the end of the day it's a business, and I think there has to be substance, in the music, at the end of the day there has to be substance, and I think the ones who do well and who are able to have lucrative careers in music are the ones who are able to kind of walk that line, between, balancing the commerce side of it and balancing the art of it.
Right now, the people who earn the most from our music are not necessarily Jamaicans. If I'm not mistaken, the Jewish reggae singer, I can never pronounce his name, but Matsiatsu, whatever his name is the top grossing reggae act. I mean, that's just a fact. Why is that? There's obviously something we're not doing, or there's something that's preventing us from doing that. Maybe, and it's quite likely is probably connected into the question of race and power. So these things need to be addressed.